Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Christine Dixon of The Ordinary Sacred, and I'm excited for you to be with me again. We are in our favorite hotel in Austin, visiting our sons, two of our sons. And today I'm going to lead you through another exercise from Outshining Trauma by Ralph de la Rosa. And this is also from chapter 8. And this is a really, really powerful one. And it's directly an IFS exercise from Internal Family Systems. It's the 6 F's, but it is particularly with a part who resists doing something. So it could be anything. So we've been doing these exercises with the breath work, with locating your body or focusing on parts of your body, or pendulating between pain or distress and another part that feels more healthy or calm. But it could be something else. It could be meditating regularly. It could be having a regular exercise or physical fitness. It could be eating healthy or something that a part or parts of you think is healthy or good or really wants to do on a regular basis. But there's resistance. Often people call this resistance, right? There are parts who don't want to do it. So whenever we experience resistance to something that we think is good for us, it's usually because there are competing parts. There are parts who want us to do the thing, and there are other parts who don't for whatever reason. And so, as we say in IFS, whatever blocks the way is the way. And so the best route forward is to really get to know the resistant parts. And so the first thing I would do is turn to the parts who really want you to do the thing. So think of something that you really want to do, that you or parts of you think is a healthy, good thing to do, some regular practice. Whatever that is, and you can pause if you need to think of it, but what is that thing? Okay. Now turn toward the parts who really want you to do that and thank them because they have good intention to help you in some kind of way by doing this, even if they just think other people are doing it and it's got to have some benefit. I'm not sure what it is or whatever it is. They have good intention. So thank them and let them know that what we're going to do is we're going to go to the parts who have objection and resistance, not to let them take over, but to really hear them out and understand them and perhaps meet their concerns so that they can naturally relax and allow our system to go forward without resistance, without rigidity or objection, right? So, so just let those parts know that's why you're going toward the resistant ones. See if they'll give you space to do that. And then I'm going to lead you through this meditation to really befriend the parts of you that are resisting. So you might first look around you and make sure that you're safe in the space that you're in. Do whatever you need to do to support your safety, your privacy, so that your body and your system can safely turn inward. Okay? And if you are safe, I invite you to make that YOU turn. You might take a few breaths. Just notice your breath or perhaps extend your exhale just to settle in and let your body know you're safe. You might notice whatever's here with you right now, thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, and just turn toward them and smile and say, I see you, I'm here with you, you're not alone. And if there is something that just really demands your attention, you can always turn toward it and ask what it needs from you or listen to what it wants to say for a moment. Because again, whatever blocks the way is the way. So whatever is demanding your attention, you always want to turn toward and just really listen to so that it can rest. And then if you're able, I invite you to find a part, perhaps by attempting a practice or just thinking about the practice that these parts want you to do, and just notice the resistance to it. So you can imagine that you're about to do the practice and let it activate that part that doesn't want to do it. Just notice where you feel that in or around your body. I often feel a tightness in my throat, in my chest. My muscles might start to brace. Again, whatever you notice, just focus on that part for a moment, really noticing whatever or how it feels for you. And then flesh it out even more by noticing, is there an emotion attached to it? You feel it physically in one part of your body and several parts of your body. Is it talking to you with thoughts or words or images? So in this space, you're just noticing without judgment, whatever you're able to notice about this part. And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just whatever is true. And whatever you do notice, just acknowledge the part. Let them know that you are noticing them. And see if you can sense the part acknowledging you back. Or perhaps it's resisting your presence. And that's okay. Just notice. It might be resisting because we haven't checked for self yet. So we'll go ahead and do that. So this is the feeling stage. So shift into this mode where you are sitting with the part or perhaps across from it. And you might see it or you might just sense it. And see if there's a space inside or even just a little bit of self, curiosity, compassion, openness, friendliness is available for the part. And Ralph calls this the focus part that has worked hard for your survival. And if there's still parts around you who are complaining or analyzing them or kind of blocking your self energy, just acknowledge them, acknowledge their good intention, and just ask them if they'll step aside so that you can get to know this resistant part. You might need to ask several parts who dislike the resistant part if they'll be willing to step aside. And if they won't, just ask them what their concern is and reassure them that your goal isn't to let the resistant part take over and, not let you do the thing ever, but to really get to know it and help it. Just keep checking to see if when the parts step back, if you feel a little more friendly toward the resistant part. And if you notice that the resistant part won't look at you, won't engage with you, even though you're feeling friendly and open toward it, you might ask the resistant part, who do you see when you look at me? And just receive an answer. Or you can ask, how old do you think I am? And just let a number come. And you might want to update the part. If the part thinks you're another part that judges it or hates it or tries to get it to go away, just ask that part to step next to you, stand next to you, until you can feel genuinely open and curious and friendly toward the resistant part. And once you do, and at any time here, you can pause the recording if you need to spend more time. But if you do feel open toward this resistant part, you can go ahead and befriend it. Just let the part know how you feel toward them. Perhaps there's more you want to know about them. I love to ask parts, just what do you want me to know about you? And then just receive. Let the part show you. It might be words, it might be images, symbols, feelings in your body, memories. Just be open to whatever it wants to show you. And perhaps they just need a chance to let out their frustration, like to have an inner tantrum, inner screaming, or even inner crying. Perhaps they need a big thank you from you, appreciation, or an apology. Maybe they seem quite young, like they're exhibiting childlike qualities or maybe teenage qualities. And in this case, you might just ask them to notice you, the grown-up who's here with them in a very thoughtful way, who's interested in finding a new way forward with them and really taking them seriously. And just listen to them. Listen to why they're protesting or resisting, why it makes sense to them. And you can pause if you need to listen. And just listening to them sometimes will allow them to calm down. But if they're still digging their heels in and saying, no, 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 we cannot do this thing, continue on and just ask inside what the part thinks might happen if they were to stop resisting, or if you were to develop this habit or this practice that they don't want to do. Just ask, what are you afraid would happen if we did this thing? And receive an answer. There's no right or wrong. Just let it come to you. You don't need to make it up, think it out. You can ask those parts to give you space. Just ask and allow whatever needs to come up. And then say back to them whatever feels natural to you from the place of a loving friend, a loving parent, a loving presence. As long as you are respectful and kind and honoring of their autonomy, you really can't get it wrong as long as you're in self. And if you're not feeling in self, if you notice parts who are resisting what they're saying, again, just ask them if they'll give you space and stand next to you so that you can respond in a loving, respectful way. You might ask this part, what is its biggest need? What does it need from you? And again, just receive an answer. Maybe it needs some kind of reassurance from you or just needs to be heard. Maybe it wants to collaborate on a solution to a problem, such as, falling asleep or having difficulty breathing. Maybe has certain fears and protects certain parts, and just let it show you how it's helping you. Maybe it wants to be included in decision making and have the freedom of choice. You might also let this resistant part know that maybe going forward, you might experiment with certain practices and let this part stand on the sidelines while you meditate or exercise and just witness it and come in after and let you know what they think about it, or even during. They can swoop in and stop things if they need to, that they have agency. The main thing here, though, is to extend self energy to the part. You're not necessarily here to problem solve as much as to establish a relationship and to really open the lines of communication to honor the autonomy of this part. So you might thank this part for whatever it has shown you in this exercise. And you might check back in with the other parts who were kind of polarized with this part, didn't like it, or frustrated with it, and see if they saw or heard what this part communicated to you. And if you want to, you can have the parts come together and creatively find a solution together. Maybe experiment with something where they each have veto power. You can take time to do that now, or you can set a time to do that later. But thank all the parts that gave you space and gave you information and allowed you to do this exercise. And then when you're ready, notice your breath. Feel your body in this space. Right, open your eyes, come back in to the space with me. And I wonder how that went for you. It can be a great practice to journal about it, to kind of document what you heard from this part and what it needed from you and why it was resisting, because it always has a reason. And it might have a next step for you, maybe an experiment to try, or um, checking in with the part before you choose to do the practice each time, or maybe meeting to help a part that it protects and help unburden that. Whatever the next step is, you can write that down in your journal as well. And if you want to share anything about this experience in the comments below, it can be really wonderful to kind of have community around it. I also have my private Facebook group, the Ordinary Sacred uh, IFS community. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. You can request to join, make sure you answer the questions, and that's a space where I like to, people to be able to interact around their own parts work together. Um, so I'm curious how this went for you. I really loved the focus of this exercise and the way we're really getting to know whatever blocks the way, right? Which is what we often call resistant parts. And so this can be with anything and everything. Maybe you really want to work on a project, but there's a part procrastinating and resisting it, right? And you can meet with that part and get to know why it's doing that and what its concerns are and how you can help it. And it might say that part that's pushing you to work too hard needs help. Okay, and it'll point you to the next step, right? It might be a part of you that really wants to leave an abusive relationship or an abusive um, environment or job or something, but there are parts who are resisting it, right? That's why you're not leaving. And so those are the parts you really want to get to know. You want to really respect them and understand why they are afraid to leave, and meet their concerns and help them make tiny, small experimental steps, right? So that they feel safe and they feel connected to you and they feel honored on the inside, right? The self really has this ability to have equanimity for all the parts who want to leave or want to do this thing, and the parts who don't, right? And the self can hold them all at the same time and respect them, just like a family of children who have competing needs and want different things can listen to them, value them all, and help them see each other and come together in a very self-led, unified front, right? We're going to make the next step together in a way that we're all on board with it because our concerns have been met. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful exercise. And so thank you for doing this exercise if you did it, or maybe you just watched it and you want to try it later. If you watched this far, let's see. What can you put in the comments? Let's do uh hmm, let's just do an animal emoji. Because it's like our animal nature, right? Sometimes we have fears and we have parts who are pulling in different directions. So put any animal you would like in the comments below, and I'll know you watched to the end. And let me know what you think about this, or if you have any questions about it. I'd love to hear about it.